much for being here. Really appreciate it. My name is Adam Reed. I'm the festival director of Queer Acts, and I want to do a couple little bit of housekeeping things. First, I want to acknowledge that this event is taking place on unceded Mi'kmaq territory. We need to acknowledge that more often. We need to acknowledge it today, tomorrow, on National Aboriginal Day, and all year long. So, yes, please turn off your cell phones. If you have those, put those on silent. Thank you very much. As I said, I am Adam Reed, the director of the Queer Acts Theatre Festival, and I'm presenting our host for this evening, Adam and Nolan!
Oh my God, that's so kind of you. Let's stay back there.
Very excited to be here.
Yeah, that's great.
Get out of here. Jesus fucking Christ. Improvise a bit of business. Okay, we're really happy to be here. We're going to be telling stories about firsts, first times, all kinds of firsts, hence the balloons. There's going to be some brand new comedians, some seasoned comedians. It should be a lot of fun.
So much fun! Yeah. You're in for a really great time. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna love it.
We thought we would start by sharing some first times with you right now.
Yeah.
Want to start?
Yeah, I would love to. So I wanted to share the first time I realized that I wanted to make people laugh, or keep making people laugh, I guess, because I could at that time. So I was a child. I was probably 9. I was at a child's birthday party. That's what you go to when you're a kid. Yeah. So I was at a child's birthday party, and a song came on. It was like the late 90s. Hanson was a big thing. And so the song MMMBop came on. Right? So we're sitting there. That's Hanson, right? Didn't fact check before the show. So yeah, MMMBop comes on, and I'm sitting there, we're listening to the song, we're eating cake, drinking cans of Coke, sitting around. And I had this epiphany. I was like, I want to make a song parody right now. So what I did was sing, plop. Out of my head, ladies and gentlemen. And killed. Yeah, really went well. I consider it my first show, my first performance. So I've been doing comedy for about 20 years, which feels really good.
I thought I'd share the first time a joke ever completely flopped for me that I remember. I was also 9. And I was at an adult's birthday party. It was one of my parents, I can't remember. And when I was a kid, I really liked to watch Saturday Night Live. I would stay up late on Saturdays and I would watch it. And I loved it. And what I would do is I would memorize the bits and then repeat them in front of family and friends, usually to great adoration and applause and laughter. But because I was 9, I didn't always understand what I was saying. I just knew that it was probably funny if it was on SNL. Then I grew up and I realized it's not often the case. But there was this one skit, I don't know if you remember, it's quite old. It was called Orgasm Guy. Oh. And if you don't remember it, a brief description will do. It was simply just a man who would orgasm when anything at all happened. And so I jumped out into the living room in front of all of my extended family and all of my parents' friends and was like, hey, I'm Orgasm Guy! And started to come all over the living room. And I didn't know what I was doing. And nobody laughed at all. And there was actually very upsetting looks on all their faces. And I was embarrassed and I sort of slinked away. And then my friend, who was like 3 years older than me at the time, came over to me and said, do you know what an orgasm is? And at which point I just felt horrible, right? Because then I've really stepped in it. And I was like, no, I don't. And then she explained to me that an orgasm is something that men have during sex. So sometimes the joke doesn't work, but you learn something. Anyway, so It doesn't feel good when a joke flops, but that's not gonna happen a lot tonight because we got some amazing comedians. So be really generous and don't do what my parents, family, and friends did. Just have a chuckle anyways, even if a 9-year-old's making orgasm jokes. Just give them a little something. Don't hurt their feelings like that.
Or ours. So, everyone's excited? So excited, we're going live. So I'm going to bring up our first comedian of the evening, good friend of ours and of Queer X, and super funny person that's about town. So I'd love to bring up Lisa Buchanan.
Thanks for coming tonight. I'm keeping with the theme. This is my first time doing stand-up. So I've been doing stand-up for about 20 seconds. And it's going well so far. I got this new shirt the other day, and I'm pretty pleased with my purchase. I bought it at the Stitches location in the Micmac Mall. So if like me, you were doing a fair bit of mall shopping during the late 90s and early 2000s as a high school student, you might be as surprised as I was to learn two things. One, Stitches still exists. And secondly, that they are expanding with new locations in the Micmac Mall and on Barrington Street. The downtown location is located in the building that used to house a prohibitively expensive high-end furniture store. So I don't know if that says more about how Stitches has progressed over the last 15 years or the state of retail in downtown Halifax. Regardless, I'm going to give Stitches some free advertising this evening because I got this shirt for a steal at $15. So apparently, Stitches is the place to go if you are a 30-something-year-old woman who, according to the size and brand name of this particular shirt, may in fact be a small urban man. Back when I was smaller and slightly less urban, I thought that I wanted to grow up to be a lawyer, and I did go to law school, but I have not worked as a lawyer at all. Partly because I came to the conclusion that that cliche is really true, that the world simply doesn't need another lawyer, and it really doesn't need another lawyer who got the grades I got. So instead, I have recently decided that what I want to do is I want to fill a void in society. I want to find a profession or a role that has not been filled yet. And so here I am. Lesbian stand-up comic. Thank you so much for your support. I think I'll be a real trailblazer. I've been reading a lot lately online about this emphasis that society is now putting on concepts like self-awareness and mindfulness. Yeah, and I get all those concepts and I understand them in theory, but they're not things that come naturally to me. I'm not a very introspective person. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the things that shaped me when I was growing up and molded me into the person I've become today. But a few days ago I was going through some boxes at my parents' house and I came across a book that was a favorite of mine as a kid. And I realized this is one of those things that inspired me. It really had an influence on me. And it influenced me both personally and professionally from a young age. It is a book called Something Queer at the Lemonade Stand. It is a real book, and I thought about bringing it with me tonight, but because it's my first time, and I know props are like a touchy thing, I didn't want to be the prop person right off the bat. So you'll have to trust me when I tell you that Something Queer at the Lemonade Stand is a real book. It is about two friends Gwen and Jill. Gwen and Jill are best friends. And one day, they decide that they want to go into business together and open a lemonade stand in their neighborhood. But soon, they find themselves with a mystery on their hands. So of all of the ways that this book inspired me, the queer part really stuck, and I'm doing well with that part, but I can't say the same for the other actions that it inspired in me. So I too, one day decided, I'm going to open a lemonade stand. I'm sure many of you have done the same, either as children or more recently. It's tough times, the jobless rate's high, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a hot day, it would have been ideal, really. I mean, a lemonade stand is a tried, tested, and true business model. How can you go wrong? So I bought my supplies, I made my product, I hired my little sister as an employee, and I figured what can go wrong, but my particular business plan had a few flaws, one of which was quite glaring. You see, I grew up on a quiet street in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and it saw little pedestrian or vehicular traffic in the run of the day. First problem. The street was so quiet, in fact, that it didn't have a sidewalk on which I could place my little table. So, workplace health and safety standards being what they are, I couldn't simply put my little table in the street. I couldn't put it in the street for fear that I or my single employee might be struck with one of the slow-moving vehicles that made its way up the street every couple of hours. To make matters worse, my driveway was sloped right down to the street. So if I were to put my little table at the bottom of the driveway, my product would have simply slid off the table and trickled down the gutter. But I was a smart kid. I mean, I ended up going to law school. I had to have some smarts. And I was a problem solver. So I was not deterred by these location issues, and I put my lemonade stand in the next best place. My backyard. I guess I'm just not that kind of smart. I had one customer, my next door neighbor, who I later found out my mother had called on the telephone and asked to come over and buy a glass of lemonade. So after our one successful business transaction, I broke the news to my employee / little sister that I was winding up the business. Not long after this failed lemonade stand effort, I decided that what I really wanted to do was be a detective and solve mysteries. Not when I grew up, now. At age 6. I figured, why wait? I had done all the research. I'd read every children's mystery book that I could get my hands on. And if Nancy Drew, Cam Jansen, and Gwen and Jill with their queer lemonade stand could figure it out, surely I could too. I tried to gain some experience in the sort of training module setting in and around my house, but it didn't go terribly well. I would ask my mother to make some of her jewelry go missing. But this turned out to just be a game called hide and go seek with inanimate objects. And my mother had not left a trail of clues along the way for me to detect. So I realized I was just going to have to bite the bullet and dive into the real world of mystery solving. But first, I would need an office where my clients could come and see me. So I decided to set up shop in the basement of our house. I contracted my father, who is a chartered accountant, to build my office. He's a handy guy, despite being an accountant, and I figured he could handle this job, so I gave him my specs, and we got to work. I had in mind the quintessential private investigator's office. Big mahogany desk, leather swivel chair, a green banker's lamp that would cast light perfectly onto the files that I would stamp, case closed. A door with my name inscribed in the pebbled glass, and a coat rack. It would have to be a good, sturdy coat rack that could hold not just the weight of my classic detective's trench coat and fedora, but also the fur coat of the beautiful woman with the two-timing husband who would inevitably find her way to my office in need of my services. I really had the queer thing down right. So soon after, my father comes upstairs and says, "Okay, Lisa, your office is ready, come have a look." I hop up and head downstairs, and I look around, and the basement looks remarkably the same as it had, I don't know, an hour ago, maybe less. "Over here," he says. "Oh, okay. What my lovely father had done was taken my little child-sized table, the same one that had served as my lemonade stand, incidentally, and placed it just out from the wall so that one of the tiny chairs could fit behind it. And he had hammered a single nail into the wall, meant for my coat. It was at just the right height for a 3-foot-tall kid. So I looked at the little table and chair, and looked up at my dad, looked at the little nail in the wall, back up at my dad. I looked at the non-existent door to my new office, and up at my dad. And I couldn't articulate it at the time, but the feeling that I had in that moment, standing there in our half-finished basement, the thought that was going through my 6-year-old mind was, nobody is going to take me seriously. And with that, yet another business venture was thwarted by circumstances beyond my control. But you know, I'm really glad that I had those experiences early on in life, at a point in my life when my financial stability did not depend on my ability to earn an income or my father's ability to build offices. I learned a lot about what not to do when running a small business and the challenges of being an entrepreneur, dealing with contractors. And in the end, it all worked out, because now I work in non-profit. Thank you, everyone. This has been my first time. I hope it was good.
I remember very clearly the first time that I realized that you could hold a fart in. I was 21. I know that's late. But I swear I have a really good excuse. And that is my family. Because there was no evidence that farts were a thing you could control at all. Because my family would fart in so many horrifying circumstances, where surely if there was any way to prevent it, it would have been prevented. That it didn't occur to me that it was possible. I just thought that farts were like a force of nature that we were powerless to stop or control. And then I remember when I realized it, I was at the mall with a friend of mine, and somebody they just let one go. It was a bad one. I can still smell it. It was really bad. And my friend said, I can still hear her. She said, "Oh, why don't they just go to the bathroom and do that?" And I remember thinking, oh my God, are you saying what I think you're saying? Are you telling me that it is possible to hold off for enough time to get to a better location before releasing? It changed my life. As you can imagine, it would change your life. Like all the anxiety, so much anxiety slips away. It was good. So that was a first for me. I've been noticing lately, while we're on the subject, that there's different levels of caring about farting in different places. So like, for example, I will more or less fart with abandon in the Dollarama. But if I were to find myself in La Senza after eating a donair, I would try not to. You know, like there's that. Like I would rather fart in Winners than People's Jewelers. Although I find it strangely satisfying to fart in the Apple Store. I don't know why. Which seems a little off the theme. The entire Halifax shopping center has gotten less fartable. Have you noticed that? Have you been there lately? It's really fancy now. But there's still Blue Notes. You can always fart in Blue Notes. I don't know why. It's a safe zone, safe territory. My partner and I like to go on what's called a Halifax date, which is just where you go to Chapters and walk around. Because there's nothing else to do. And there's more people. It's not just you. If you go on a Chapters date, like there's other people there on a date. You can see them, and often you can tell that, you know, on trend they're on their first date. Probably because they went to a movie and they're there early and they're like, oh, you want to go walk around Chapters? And they're like, yeah, that sounds like a nice idea. And then you can see the first date energy. You can see it. And so sometimes when I see it, I like to just kind of walk behind them and do what I learned from a flight attendant is called crop dusting, which is where you just silently fart and leave it with them. And perhaps change the very course of their lives just because you're an asshole. Yeah, so while we're talking about important things, I feel the need to address something very dear to my heart, which is biphobia. Come on. It's a bit late to still be biphobic. There's still a lot of biphobia. I hate biphobia, it makes me so mad. There are still, after decades and decades and decades of biphobia, I still encounter people who don't even think that bisexuality is real. I still meet these people. Of course, bisexuals are real. And if you have a hard time keeping this concept straight, you can just remember that they can be divided into two categories. People who are actually just straight and people who are actually just gay. No, I'm just being sorry. That's not how I feel. That's not how I feel. Obviously not. I'm bisexual. I mean, I would never call myself that, but I am bisexual. Wow, tough crowd with the bisexuality. We got some sensitive bisexuals in the house. I am, in fact, one of these sensitive bisexuals. I'm trying to work it out. I recently came out as bisexual, although I do prefer to use the word bisexualist, because it sounds just a little acrobatic. I actually think that, I think language is very important. I think that the words that we use to talk about who we are very important. And I think that they're very personal and often very difficult it's very difficult to say why a certain word feels like us and another word doesn't, right? Like sometimes it's hard. It doesn't make sense on paper, always. Which I was thinking about earlier when I was discussing with my roommates whether or not I should do that bisexual joke, so fuck you guys. But as we were talking, one of my roommates, Lindsay, was explaining why she doesn't identify as bisexual despite loving both cock and pussy. And during that conversation, Adam, who you've already met, suggested that she might instead be pansexual, to which she replied, fuck you, Adam. So, who knows? But happy Pride, and please give it up for my favorite lesbian, Lindsay Duffy.
Thank you, Nolan. That was great. You sound way worse than I really am in real life. So yeah, I'm Lindsay. I really can't see any of you. I didn't wear my glasses on purpose because I didn't want to see anyone, but even if I had them on, I wouldn't be able to. It was great. So, this is my second time doing stand-up comedy. And so I obsess over things. I'm an overanalyzer, so I've been asking people in my life who do comedy on a regular basis if they have any tips for me. And Adam was like, well, what I would suggest is when you take the microphone and you're not sure where to put it, maybe put it on your chin. And I was like, which one? Right here, or like, should I just put it on my top chin? Top chin's better? Great, thanks. So yeah, I'm actually not a stand-up comedian, but I just wanted to prove to my mom that I'm more than conversationally funny. I actually promised her I wouldn't talk about her on stage, so don't tell her I said that. Yeah, so I thought I would know more of you here tonight. I don't, which is awesome. So maybe I'll tell you a little bit about myself. One important fact about me is that I wholeheartedly believe that Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish is the best song of all time. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna get a shit for that. Like, I live with Adam and I play it nonstop on repeat, and he's like, no, host rule, no more. Thank you. Another thing that's important about me is I have IBS and I talk about it 24/7. I'm not going to make any poop jokes tonight, it's fine. The third thing is that I have like a very specific type of person that I'm attracted to and usually end up dating, which is like very neatly wrapped up in one word, which is loser. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But recently, we're talking about first time, so recently I tried to date someone who's not a loser. Spoiler alert, we still broke up. So I think I'm the problem, I'm the loser. But yeah, so we broke up, and so again, another first, I'm trying to be friends with her. And that's never something I thought was an option because, like I said, usually I date people who aren't great. So we're trying to be friends, but the reason we broke up is not traumatic or dramatic, we're just different people. And I was like, that's respectable, we can still be friends, we care about each other. And so immediately I was like, oh shit, her 40th birthday is in like 10 days. Like, I gotta get her something nice. If she was a regular friend, like, I would get her something really beautiful. And so I'm brainstorming, I'm like, she loves balloons, I love balloons, maybe I'll get her 40 balloons. Except then I was like, oh, I gotta make it special. Maybe I'll write something nice about her on each balloon, because everyone loves compliments, and you're like, oh, this is so beautiful. And then I ran it past some friends, and they were like, no. I know you're a lesbian. No. Girl, no. So I was like, what about if I just write 20 nice things about her and 20 things that are really annoying about her on the I didn't do that. I bought her a bar stool. I went practical instead of sentimental, which is great. Yeah. This is true, by the way. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I am recently single, and I've been spending a lot of time, trying to keep my mind occupied. All my friends are in relationships. And I love being single, by the way, but I'm like, I gotta have a little fun. So I started this game. It's pretty good. It's a game we've all played before, but maybe we haven't admitted it to anyone. It's called Lesbian or Teenage Boy. And so basically you're just walking down the street and you see someone and you're like, was that a lesbian or a teenage boy? I've played this game for a long time, I'm pretty good at it. And so I had an exceptionally good game of this on the way here. I see someone, I'm walking down with a friend, I'm trying to get amped up, but I'm feeling pretty good. My anti-anxiety medication's kicked in, I'm like, oh, I feel good. So we see someone attractive. I'm not wearing my glasses, as you'll notice, I already mentioned. And so I don't have the best vision. So they're walking towards us, and I was like, oh shit, this person's super cute, I'm looking good, my jugs are on display. I was like, maybe I'll just say hey, which is not my style. Say hey, ask if they're coming to the show, maybe they want to hang out afterwards, maybe I'll give them my number. And as I come closer, I realize, oh shit, not a lesbian, not a teenage boy, it's like a 10-year-old boy. I really need to start wearing my glasses. bad game of this I've played. Once my friend was like, "You're gonna end up on Dateline." I don't want to walk through the door with beer and see Chris Hansen ever. So yeah, as I mentioned, my mom said I'm only conversationally funny. I'm gonna get off the stage in about, 45 seconds, but I have a favor to ask. It just came to me when I was sitting over there. And Lisa said no props, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring a prop. I brought my cell phone up here because I want to take a selfie with everyone in this audience to prove to my mom that you guys laughed at me. That's okay with you. Open my phone. Oh, the lights are on. Okay. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and when I do 3, we're gonna take the photo. It's a crappy cell phone. No one's actually gonna see your faces, but this is for me. So. Thank you. Anyway, I forgot like half the stuff I was gonna say, so I'm like, 5 minutes. Let's go off stage. Enjoy!
Lindsay Duffy, everybody! Lindsay Duffy, thank you for coming, Lindsay. We live a wall apart. So it's nice to see her. We don't get together very often. It's a fun show. It's a fun show, guys. It's really nice to see you all. Take it down a notch. I'm really proud of myself, everybody. I bought these today. I have money, but that's not why. That's not why I'm proud. Terrified balloons. Terrified balloons. Fucking terrified balloons. So scared. This, it's like exposure's there, but I can't get much closer than that. But very proud of myself for buying these. But, I had to make the stage look good for you, so you're welcome. I was standing in line to buy a rotisserie chicken recently. And while I was standing there, a couple people deep, I was reading the magazine covers. There was a cover that had a quote on it that said, quote, "I didn't kill my family." But of course I read it, "I didn't kill my family." See, I wanted to space out Lindsay getting off in that joke. Because I didn't want to Lindsay's my family, she's really nice, I wouldn't kill Lindsay. Definitely not. I was standing at the corner by Tony's Pizza before I came down here, and I heard this conversation between a father and his child. I guess I'm assuming his gender, but a parent and their child. Okay, so this is what happened. What do you see? And the kid goes, "Birds." And he goes, "I am?" The kid goes, "Yeah." So that's what parenthood's like. Sign me up. Handle that. Handle that. Anyone been to the new library downtown? It's not that new, I guess. An old joke. Anyone been on a bicycle before? That's funnier than the actual joke, so we'll skip it. It's true. You're ready. It's not that good. I was at the library. Me and Nolan were at the library, actually. That's where I'm going. We write jokes together, so it's hard to... so there's a book on the shelf behind Nolan that just said on the title, "Dog Cancer." Dog cancer. That's what it said. It takes a long time to write a book. That's what you called it. What? So we're gonna write up a meeting. Thanks for writing this book. You're gonna come on down. We're gonna sit down. So what do you think? Do you have any ideas? Want to toss around for titles? Dog cancer. Dog cancer. Okay. throw it out there. No! Fucking Dog Cancer is the book I wrote. Dog Cancer it will be called. Who the fuck am I? I'm not gonna write a fucking book. Dog Cancer or not, I'm not gonna write a book. Good thing you're already done. Anyone been to a hotel before? Hotel fans in the house. I was in a hotel not that long ago, it was for work. And I was watching TV, I was watching Storage Wars. Anyone watch Storage Wars? Horrifying show. I'm really attached to my stuff, so I have a hard time with Storage Wars. I was watching Storage Wars, and there was before the show started, it said, "This program is provided in described audio." And I wish I'd turned it on. Because what does that sound like? Man picks up shitty box. Man opens shitty box. Pull shit out of box. Absolutely worthless. Repeat. I got this jacket today. Yeah, something fun really quick. I got, but look, watch this. Stretch. It's not a joke, I just want to share with you. I was in the gas station to purchase my Polar Pop. 89 cents for 2 liters of whatever you want. 2 types of ice, I'm into that. And I was standing in line to pay. A couple guys ahead of me. And this guy comes over, wearing tearaway pants. Says one of the other guys, "Why are you so dressed up?" Here's something though. Guy wasn't dressed up. He was just wearing pants that you can't take off in 2 directions. That's his definition. Down and out. It's not part of the joke, so I thought I'd explain it. Recently found out what my last thoughts are going to be. I'm taking it down. Everyone else is like really high energy, but I'm going to take it down. I found out I was driving through Sackville. Anybody else drive through Sackville? Sackville, it's a beautiful town. And there was a dump truck coming the opposite direction, and I thought I was going to collide with it. And we all want to think we're going to be prophetic. We're going to say something really important about life, something big, meaningful. It's going to be the last thing we think or say. What I realized my last steps were going to be is, "Oh shit, that's a big truck!" So, thinking about getting that tattooed down the side. Or something, I don't know. Hot? It's hot? It's hot out. Hot out again. This is a joke that's relevant to this time of the year. It's really hot out. And I have a problem with chafe. Anybody else? Chafers? House full of chafers. Good. That was what I was hoping would show up. This joke was gonna kill someone. So I was having a particularly hard summer last year with chafing. I was really hot and I didn't have the appropriate underwear. It's just true. Well, it wasn't like. And so I went online and I was like Googling how to deal with chafe, you know? Because like I thought maybe someone had one good suggestion. But every single article that I read about chafe, first thing it says, lose weight. Yeah, boo, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't think you understand the circumstances under which people are reading your articles. This isn't proactive. I'm not like sitting in February being like, you know what? I'm gonna plan ahead. emergency, red alert. I need to get you a sandwich and back. If anybody has any suggestions, I'm waiting outside the show. Coconut oil. There's this underwear called My Package, and they're really great. Called My Package. That's what the brand is. It's like it separates everything out. It's really nice. So this is the last joke. That wasn't a joke. I'm gonna bring it back up before I bring it back down. So I have a game I like to play, or a big game, or House of Games, over on Moran Street. House of Games! And I like to play this game called Change That Caption. I made it up myself. I'd like to share it with you. You should play it. It'll bring you endless joy. So what you do, it's pretty easy. You post a photo on Facebook, something kind of innocuous like a puppy. Right? You caption it something like, "Oh, ain't he cute?" And you wait a couple days. People like it, comment on it, whatever. And change the caption. To something like, "If I get 100 likes, I'm gonna kill this puppy." And you get the joy of receiving messages. What the fuck, man? You make me look like a puppy murderer. And you get to respond. I'm confused. I thought you were on my side. Oh, this whole puppy killing thing. Oh, that note took it down. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm bringing up a person who's a great comedian. The next person that's coming to the stage tonight, please enjoy her comedic styling. It's Alva Marie Sparkles, everybody.
Wow, thanks guys. I snuck up from the back because I thought it'd be more dramatic. This is my third time doing stand-up at this particular venue. And I really do think it's a great venue. One of my favorite things about living in Halifax is we have all these cool bars doing all these cool things. Personally, I want to open a dance club for people with anxiety and call it Panic at the Disco. I recently got a dog. I'm really hoping Adam doesn't kill it. His name is Bruce. He's super cute. I don't really have any jokes about him. I just want you to know I have joy in my life. But a lot of people think he's a puppy, but he's actually 5 years old. He's a Corgi Lab cross. Yeah, he's so cute. And that's the great thing about Corgis is you can mix them with any other breed and they just look like the baby of that breed. It's so cute. And I hear a lot of people talking about their kids and they're like, "I wish you would stay little forever." Well, you should have fucked a Corgi. Yesterday I got laid. I got laid off. And I thought I hit a low point in my life until I was on my way home and I saw a woman trying to shower in a bus stop bathroom next to a discarded pregnancy test. Now, was the pregnancy test hers? I don't know. But I like to think so. I want to know that there's something in her life that's positive. I used to have a job back home. I worked for a theater company, and I'm a big fan of Ninja Turtles. Anybody a fan of Ninja Turtles? So I used to roll up to work every single day in a Michelangelo onesie. And then I got promoted to management, and my boss pulled me aside and he's like, "Alva, you have to reconsider what it is you wear." And I'm like, "I understand. Mikey, he's a party dude." So I went and bought myself a Leonardo onesie. Because that dude has leadership skills. Now I don't have a job, I'm not sure why. The thing I respect about the Ninja Turtles is they're true to themselves. They're party dudes, right? You hear about like Superman, Batman, all these other guys. They have these alternative identities. And they always say it's to like protect the ones they love. I don't think that's true. I think if Bruce Wayne was at the bar chatting up some little mamacita, and he said, "I'm Batman," his friend would come up and be like, "You're not Batman. I've watched you cry like a baby. Watching How to Train Your Dragon 2. Another job you guys might not know exists. There's actually funeral, but there's strippers out there that you can hire that are specifically funeral strippers. It's a real thing, and I have so many questions. First of all, can you even buy black glitter? And how do you come to specialize in funerals? Like, did Desiree show up late for the 5th time in a row? Or is it the other way? Was she giving some guy a lap dance and he was like, "I'm so happy I could die"? And I'm not sure if you're aware, there is a fetish out there. It's called an asphyxiation fetish. And some girls like to get choked, some guys will like hang themselves when they're jacking off. And every once in a while it does go awry. And what I want to know is if you hire a stripper for one thing, and you need them again for the funeral, like there should at least be a BOGO sale. Buy one, get one half off. The other thing I find interesting is in some cultures they actually cut a hole in the coffin so that the dead person can see the strippers. Now I've never been dead. Never tried it. But I imagine you can't see a lot. Also, I can't imagine being at a funeral and all you hear is "You ain't dead." That's my only knock-knock joke. And I wish I would have known this a long time ago, because a few years ago my dear old dad did pass away. And I don't know if you can tell by my see-through top, but I don't have the greatest relationship with my father. He was the kind of dad that signed me up for field hockey and then got all confused when I started kissing girls. He was like one of those Where's Waldo kind of dads. Somebody was always looking for him. And he used to live way up north, in one of those towns where the mayor was basically just the biggest buffalo. Which sounds like a weird place to want to live, but it makes sense that that's where they put the prison. Yeah, I didn't have to buy these boots. Somebody just sends them to you. But seriously, my dad was a good guy. He was. They let him out early on good behavior. But I had a hard time at his funeral, and I just kept thinking, if we had hired strippers for this funeral, I don't know, like, at least my mom would have been there. Speaking of my slutty mom, little known fact, I have 18 siblings. 18. Which is a lot, and I was talking to a gentleman recently, and he seemed quite surprised when I said I came from a family of 19. And he was questioning me. And I said, you know, it's really not that weird. I come from Alberta, it's farmland. And he just looked at me, and he said, "Do you mean like a people farm?" I have a trans sibling, which again, 19 kids, it'd be kind of weird if I didn't. Right? And she went from being like a husband and a father to being a single mother. And I think that was really hard for her because no one saw her struggle because she was transparent. That was exactly the response. And the other thing was, she changed her name, which makes total sense. Like when Bruce changed her name to Kylie, I think we all understood that. Like nobody wants to be a chick named Bruce. But my sister changed her name to Dolores, which is the name of everybody's least favorite DMV employee. And her name before that was Kelly. Why would you change that? I'm no better though. When I had my son, I got to pick his first name, and I called him Mikey, and I told everyone it was after my oldest brother. Not true. It was after Michelangelo. Again, not the artist, the Ninja Turtle. And I let my ex-husband pick the middle name, and he picked a name that every single 23-year-old dude would have picked. Danger. And then his last name was my married name, Seaman. And first off, Danger Seaman sounds like a sex ed class for a Catholic girls' school. And I'm not too sure why I thought I didn't need to use birth control after marrying a guy named Seaman. But he passed away a couple years ago, which was really tragic, but it made me believe in God. It really did. Because I like to think God looked down on us, and he saw poor little Michelangelo, Danger Seaman, and went, nope, not on my watch. Either that or he thought it was cool, and he just wanted to hang out with the guy. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened to the dinosaurs. Right? Alright, what else can I tell you? I worked in New Zealand for a little while. Really cool place. If you've never been there, you should go there. But what I learned is that sometimes the words that you say here don't translate so well, and vice versa. For example, while I was there, my friends asked me to go tramping. I don't know if you know what that is. Spoilers, you get tired and you get to pitch a tent. But I definitely didn't need 24 condoms. It's hiking, that's all it is. And the place we went to was called Fuck a Ton, eh? And apparently in Maori, fuck just means like land. So I was really disappointed. So on the way home, I found myself a really nice rugby team. I'm just kidding, you guys. I don't fuck a whole rugby team. I have morals. I fuck 2. You gotta tucker them both out. That way the game is fair. Another term I learned was double fisting. You guys know what that is, right? It's when you're at a party, you're drinking 2 drinks at the same time. Doesn't translate so well. So I was at a party, I was talking about double fisting. And it would have been okay if I would have realized and corrected myself, but I didn't. So I said some things like, well, I usually end up double fisting at least once at every party. You've never tried double fisting? Well, you should start with 1, work your way up. Otherwise, you're going to be a little sore in the morning. And by the time I realized what they all thought I was talking about, it was kind of too late. So I just bent over and said, came here for new experiences. I'm gonna check how I'm doing on time. I'm way over. Do you want me to end it? All right, I'm gonna do one more joke. Who here is actually part of the LGBTQT community? All right, that's quite a few, but statistically, there's probably more of you. But you just sit there and keep a straight face. I am bisexual, if anybody is curious. And we were talking about bisexuality a little bit earlier. For those of you who don't know what that means, all it means is, to me, your genitals are exactly like your belly button. I don't really give a shit if you're an innie or an outie. Alright, I'm gonna end on that. Thank you so much. I've been Elton Rose.
I don't know how to shake hands. Always proud of another round of applause. We're gonna have a quick intermission. These guys are getting a head start. I'm gonna bring up Adam Reed for 1 minute, well, a couple minutes, to tell you about the QueerX Festival. It's gonna be happening in July, and then we're gonna have a quick 15, and I'm saying 15-minute intermission. I will be railing you back in, and we'll do another half of the show. Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Lisa, something crossed my mind when Lisa was speaking. Lisa, I want y'all to know that my first business experience was also literary inspired. Lisa, what was the name of your book?
Something Queer at the Lemonade Stand.
Something Queer at the Lemonade Stand. Fantastic. My first business venture was inspired by the Babysitters Club. Club of one. Couldn't round up any other members. Whatever. But it was a really great start for organizing folks and things, which led to doing a little like segue thing here into QueerX. Because later, about 20 years later, I started the QueerX Theater Festival. So that's what we're here for tonight. I want to tell you a little bit about the QueerX Theater Festival that is coming up. So I'm about to wrap up my tenure as the kind of festival director. We'll be announcing new directors of the festival really soon. But this year's programming has been decided, and we'll be kind of announcing ticket sales and the new team that's going to be leading QueerX next week. But I wanted to let you know about some of the shows that we have happening here at the Bus Stop Theater, July 13th to the 16th. So the first one is Breakfast, which is about a couple of sort of urban curmudgeons enjoying breakfast, and perfectly cast. It's going to be starring Adam Maya Nolan, and writing and starring in Breakfast. So that'll be here at Bus Stop Theater. I just pulled out my little list here. So we've got 7 shows during the festival. We also have a new show premiering. It's called King of Berlin. The Doppler Effect is going to be producing this. You know the Doppler Effect, yes. Annie Valentina is like sort of leading Doppler Effect amazingly. She's producing a show with amazing Kristen Slaney. That will be that's actually going to be the Marquee. So the Marquee is hosting this sort of cabaret style production, which explores the story of queer women following the Second World War. So I'm not going to tell you too much about it because you got to go see it at the Marquee. We also have No Treats, which is a show by Aisha Zaman. Aisha was our Queer Acts emerging artist about 4 years ago. So she's a young woman. She'll be telling her story about being queer and Pakistani. And she's a beautiful writer. It's kind of her first time on stage. I'm really excited to be welcoming her. The Queer Ages of Hugo Dan is about local noted activist and actor Hugo Dan. He's been telling this story a little bit at the Atlantic Fringe Festival, and he did a workshop earlier, and so we're going to bring a full production to QueerX later this year. I've already mentioned the emerging queer artists for the past. This year's emerging queer artist from Halifax is Jade Peak. So I'm really excited. Jade Peak is going to be working on a new show with Raven Davis as their mentor, and so that will be the Halifax emerging queer artist. Our Toronto emerging queer artist, we bring in every year. We bring in a young person from Toronto. That young person has been working with folks at Buddies to create a show, and so that show is called Aquarius. It's about a bathhouse fire that took place in Montreal in the 1960s. Sounds like an upper? It is not. It's a really tragic, beautiful story called Aquarius. And then the final show of QueerX 2017 will be Cooney. Cooney is by an artist, some of you may know, his name is Izad Ilmadi. Izad brought a show to Halifax a few years ago called Love with Layla. Love with Layla was a story of a bearded lady, and it's hysterical. But this show is about Izad's. Izad immigrated to Canada from Iraq, and basically tells a story of how Canada shaped his queer identity. So that show was performed to sold out houses at Buddy's at Bad Times in Toronto, and he's a really talented artist. So that's our quick thank you for listening to me, the lineup that we have coming up starting July 13th. Hope to see you there. Thanks for supporting this night. Thank you very much to Adam and Nolan for organizing this Queer Acts Comedy Night, and we will see you after the intermission.
Hello. Does everybody have the drinks they need? It's very tepid. It's tepid. Oh, it's tepid in here. I saw something that disturbed me greatly the other day on Barrington Street. It was a couple. He had his arm around her, kind of like this. And they were riding the same longboard. I'm not kidding. It was gross. It was gross. It was really bad. Speaking of gross couples, Adam brought up Storage Wars. Do people know when I say, is it Brandy and Jared? Is that the couple? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? The last time I watched Storage Wars, it occurred to me, I was like, oh my god, I wonder if anyone has ever role-played Brandy and Jared. I wonder, has anyone here ever done it? You can tell me afterwards, but I would love to know. / maybe do it tonight, might be fun. Things I hate. There are many things I hate. This is the first, speaking of first, this is my first day of attempting to restrict my internet access because it's ruining my life. There's so many things on the internet that I hate, but I just do them anyways. But the thing that I hate the most on the whole internet is the list things. I know there's like a fancy internet name for them, I don't know what it is, but like the list article things that are just lists only. And where you have to click on a new page for every item on the list. It's so bad. I hate it so bad. I was on number 28 of 50 child celebrities. You won't believe how ugly they are now. And none of them were even a little bit good. None of them were good. And I just fucking kept clicking. My self-esteem just getting lower and lower and lower every time. And the thing that I hate the most about the list is they always say that they're gonna be amazing. And they're never even sort of good. Not even a little good. Like, it'll be like 39 kitchen hacks that will change the course of history. Number 17 will literally take you to the prom and finger fuck you until you have the best orgasm of your life. Number 17. Just wait. Just wait. And then you get there, and it's like, you can take your rubber bands and put them in a mason jar, and then you'll know where your rubber bands are. That's it. That's it. So good. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, I never do anything of value. I just sit there looking at the computer, and I just, or my phone, and I'm like, I've never read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but I'm pretty sure that none of them are playing Candy Crush Soccer on the toilet. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's not in there. I don't think so. I wound up today on the Wikipedia page for fisting, somehow. I've never, and I don't, I'll admit, I've never fisted. I never have. I suppose I would, but I haven't. I've never been compelled to. And I wasn't researching it for the purpose of, like, achievement. I just wound up there. But actually, it was more interesting than Kitchen Hacks. They have a whole history of fisting on the Wikipedia. It's kind of good. I would check, maybe later if you want. But it's just funny to me that we call it fisting because it's a bit of a misnomer. Come on. I mean, sometimes you get to the closed fist, I imagine, but you don't. That's not how it looks. That's not how it starts. You don't just do that. It's more like, know, it's more like I'm gonna carry a small amount of water into a vagina or a rectum, or I'm gonna like shadow puppet your penis. But it doesn't sound as hardcore when it's called out. I think I'm annoyed too easily. I don't know if you've seen them. I've been noticing them lately. People have been putting signs up in their neighborhood. I really hate these signs. They just say, "Please drive slowly. We love our children." I fucking hate those signs. And it's not. I don't drive fast. I think we should drive slowly in residential neighborhoods. I agree with the sign. So I was thinking to myself, why do they drive me so fucking crazy? And then I realized why. I think I'm irritated with the fact that the people that put the signs up think that their love for their children has really anything at all to do with why I shouldn't hit them with my car. When the truth is, I'm equally, if not even a little more disturbed by the idea of hitting unloved children with my car. Just for the record, residents of the South End. Driving down the road knocking off unloved children is not less bad than killing your loved children. So I'm thinking of sort of responding to these signs with my own bumper stickers that just say, "I drive slowly because I love your children." So, if you'd like one of those, you can let me know. And in the meantime, please laugh very hard and put your hands together for the amazing and talented Jordan Roberts.
Thank you. Amazing night. Wasn't the first half great? So great. So back in February, I was doing a set. I haven't done comedy for very long, but I was doing a set back in February, and I opened with the joke, "Hi, my name is Jordan Roberts, and earlier this week, I got my period for 20 minutes at a public pool." Because that's a thing that happened. And I think it's funny how my life sometimes replays the antics of a background character that's 12 in Degrassi Junior High. Oh no, my crush. But y'all, that was not my period, and I am 24 weeks pregnant. Turns out that is what OBGYNs call an implantation bleed, and it means that that was the exact moment that I got pregnant. But I did not know that at the time, so I lived my life with the confidence of a 30-year-old woman with irregular periods. Because that's another thing about me. All through my teens and my 20s, I'd be weeks late, I'd be months late. It was a bit of a mess. Things seem to have mellowed out in a way that I didn't quite catch on to, but for a while there it was a little wild. And so I was kind of overly cautious for a while, and I was very concerned about getting pregnant, and always concerned that I had gotten pregnant, to the point that I took my first pregnancy test before I had my first active sexual intercourse. Because if you send a child to church camp long enough and tell them the story about Mary long enough, they'll get some pretty fucked up ideas. So I've had just a rich tapestry of experiences with reproductive accessories over the last 10 years. My first time taking Plan B, I was at the pharmacy in Cole Harbour, where I grew up, very nervous, 18-year-old, going to that back counter for the first time. Kind of got up the nerve, got the pills, was checking out at the cash, and I very shakily kind of slid it across the counter, and the cashier looked at me and said, "Do you have an Optimum card?" I have a pending phone call to the Lifestyles Quality Assurance Department and a narrowing window of time. That is what I have. So I let it go. It was fine. Got through that. And then over the years, I've kind of developed a relationship with pregnancy tests. because they're all a little bit different. They all have some different names, maybe for some different purposes, maybe what you want the result of that test to be. My choice is first response. They come in packs of 2s and have the urgency of a first responder, and I like that. That is what I need. So again, you go to the store, and it's always that awkward checkout moment of, what story does this basket tell? And so I had a pregnancy test and a chocolate bar as I was walking to the cashier, and I was like, no, I will not be that person. I will not be Barbie with the sad accessories. That's not what's happening tonight. So I went back and I was like, what else can I get? What can I flesh this out with? And so I got the wildest, most extravagant, expensive mascara that Shopper sells. Because this might be going on, but goddamn it, I'm having fun tonight. This is not because it's waterproof, not because I'm crying in the bathtub later tonight, no. It's because I'm living life, c'est la vie, laughing in the rain, dancing. No, I was crying in the bathtub, it's okay. Waterproof held up though, so, you know. Sometimes you find your diamond. But I am pregnant. I would call it a wanted whoopsie-poopsie. Is how I'm defining it. Because I have wanted children for a very long time, was not doing any of the logistical planning for this at this current moment in my life, but here we are. And because of that, I had all these kind of romantic ideals about pregnancy that are now living up to my reality. And the kind of first one was that pregnancy test moment of you know, I always kind of pictured it like my partner and I would be in like a breakfast nook. That always kind of seems like what's happening. And like some white bathrobes or something, and like, honey, look what I just pissed on. What happened is I took the expired one left over from a 2-pack from underneath the sink. Surprisingly accurate still. And blearily took that while hung the fuck over. And what a wake-up call that one is, eh? So it just didn't match up to the expectations. And, you know, I say hungover. I don't judge choices. You know, everyone does their pregnancy the way they do it. Firmly believe in harm reduction, bodily autonomy. Those are very important things. I may have made some different choices if I had known in those first 6 weeks that I was pregnant. I think, you know, there's a lot of people that name their children after kind of things or hopes or wishes they have for them during conception or during pregnancy. So, you know, this is joy or hope or patience. And so in my case, this is Jack Daniel, Mary Jane, Molly, or Hot Knives, but that's only if it's a girl, because I'm a little traditional like that. I think Hot Knives is a traditionally feminine name. I could be wrong about that. That's just my opinion. This is how it works, I'm sorry. But, you know, I could have been doing some better planning because, you know, despite everything that I know, mistakes were made. And we can't exactly trace back, like I can trace back to the fucking pool party when it happened, but the act that got things swimming, I don't know exactly when that was. Our best guess, and I'll use some metaphors because I'm polite like that, the goalie had been benched during the game, so you know there was nothing protecting the net. But the puck only hit the post. And the shot was taken from behind the net, so I'm not quite sure how this happened. We're here today, living our lives. And you know, from the many aspects that you're learning about me this evening, you can see that I've had a bit of a fraught history with things like sexual knowledge and reproductive knowledge and body knowledge, and part of that is the failing school system of Nova Scotia, and part of that is good old-fashioned religious upbringing. I'm not quite sure. Did anyone here have the sex talk when they were growing up? Like anything like that? Anyone have a sex talk? No? Okay, well, watch out, folks. depending on what your body is and who you're doing it with. Words of advice. They come in 2-packs. My sex talk was one day my mom and I were driving to Penhorn Mall and she looked at me and said, "Don't." So that's all I knew. And it obviously didn't fare me very well in this situation. It was really bad. It was especially bad when it came to queer sex. I didn't know anything about heteronormative sex. I knew nothing about queer sex. I didn't know I was queer for a very long time. I just kind of always knew in my teens that I was like more attracted or also attracted to women when I watched porn. And I was like, I can't even deal with my attraction to boys right now. So I'm just gonna put that on the back burner and deal with that in my late 20s. And it did. So it's a strategy that works. But I remember the first time I hooked up with a girl. And it was so magical and it was so much fun. And I was so excited and it was so great. And then the next morning I had a rash all over my face. And I knew it wasn't an STI. I knew that because I knew like we had a very good negotiating talk and you know, shared some of our histories and all those kinds of things. I also knew that if anything was going to show up, it wasn't going to be the next morning. So I knew it wasn't an STI related thing. And I was legitimately, I'm bearing my soul to you people, legitimately worried that I had waited too long to act on queer desire, and at the age of 26, I was allergic to girls. I thought I had acclimated myself to boys. And the new whatever in my system wasn't being handled. It's like when you don't want to take too many antibiotics because eventually your body just fends off everything. That's what I thought I was dealing with. I thought I was allergic to girls. I was so terrified. So I went to the Family Focus walk-in on Spring Garden Road with this theory. And I met a nurse and I went in and she's like, "What are you here for?" And I said, I have this, it's a little bit red, it's a little bit sore, it's a little bit chapped. And she's like, "Okay, well, have you been using new makeup? Have you been using a new skincare routine?" And I was like, no. Is there anything new in your life? The pussy. And I told her my theory, and I told her I'm 26 and I think I'm allergic to girls. And that very, very kind nurse laughed at me. And laughed at me. And laughed at me. Put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Oh honey, no. That's not a thing. It's not a thing." It was my lip chap. It was my lip chap. So that's a lot of information about me. Thank you so much for your time.
Everybody gets holy shit. Everybody gets one. How good was that? I was so excited when I asked Jordan, and they said, "I think we should do the show." I've seen Jordan around a bunch, and every time I split a gut, so we should be being here. Yeah, you. Over up here. Not me, I'm sorry. That felt weird. No, everyone makes sounds, it's fine. Jordan was talking about sad groceries. I had some experience with sad groceries, Jordan. I don't go back though. I don't go back to buy more. I'm at the point and I can't go back and buy more. I remember there was this time I was at Sobeys and I was purchasing a bottle of wiper fluid for my vehicle, 1 Michelin a dinner. For dinner. 3 little ceramic cactuses. I'll correct myself, cacti. Okay. It's a sad moment. I had a sad moment the other day. Surprise. I had a sad moment. I got a text message from my cellular provider. It says, you have used 90% of your data for the month. And it was early in the month, and I was like, how's that possible? And I thought about what I was doing on my phone. And I looked at the Wi-Fi, and it was turned off. And then I realized that I had used 90% of my data to stream Wife Swap. On my phone. In bed. Wife Swap. Wife Swap. I keep going through phone chargers because I keep unplugging and plugging and unplugging and that was the wrong way. Plugging and unplugging. Because I want my phone to be at 69% all the time. It's a dumb joke, but I like it, so I'll do it anyway. I was in Toronto recently and I was at a museum. It was a T-Rex, not a real one, a dead one. Well, it was real, it was dead. It was not alive. And on the plaque in front of the T-Rex it said, T-Rexes may have had sensitive noses. And may have rubbed them together. Well, that was my reaction. I work in a museum. And that's a lot of speculation, Mr. Paleontologist. That's the right thing, right? Yeah, that's right. Mr. Paleontologist. Well, what T-Rexes may have worn little tutus. Did a little dance. We'll never know. But I was reading the dictionary the other day. It was a hard guy. Came upon the word colloquial. It's probably the least colloquial word you can imagine. I'm guessing there's an English degree right there. It's just a word that means like a colloquialism is like, oh, I don't have an example. It's like a saying. It's a saying you have for like a thing. It's like maybe buddy is one. I'm not sure, but it's basically a reference to like not knowing bigger words, so use a different word. I think our generation is really anxious because of board games we played when we were children. I'll explain. Don't Wake Daddy? Everyone ever play that piece of shit? I got an idea for a game, guys. We're gonna go around the board, avoid our abusive father. Great. Nice game, yeah. Perfect. Perfection? Perfection? The game? Anyone else play that game? Anyone win a game of perfection? Thanks for ruining my punchline, because punchline is nobody's perfect. So. I was recently playing a board game with some pals of mine. They're here, so. I have 4 pals. No, I have more pals. You're all my pal. But I was playing another board game. And it's called Girl Talk. You ever play Girl Talk? Great, awesome. So this will hit. I did this at the Oasis the other day, and it didn't go so well. I was playing Girl Talk with my friends, and that game's different when you're older. Stakes are different, right? When you're a kid, things that are worth a ton of points are like, do a funny dance. I don't give a shit, I don't care. It's fine. Things worth like 1 point are things like, tell us all about your relationship with your mother. Fuck you, Girl Talk. I have a complicated relationship with my family, Girl Talk. It's Friday night, I don't want to talk about it. So if you don't want to do the thing that you have to do, you have to put a sticker on your face. It's called a zit sticker. And couldn't see me by the end of the night because it's covered in zits. Super fun. I mentioned I work at a museum. Yeah. Some people I work with are here. So it's gonna be a weird week next week when I show up. Look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, we work at a museum. And before that, I've applied for lots of jobs. I hate applying for jobs, but I've applied for lots of jobs. And the most depressing jobs I didn't get a call back for is a tie. It's a tie between a back shift cake decorator at Sobeys. That's number one. Number two is to work in the gift shop at the Discovery Center. Fucked it up, sorry guys. Anyway, I applied to work at the Discovery Center, they didn't get back to me. Jokes on them. Not a big fan of Discovery, so I wouldn't have been a good employee at the Discovery Center. I want to apply at the movie theater. Well, I have a job now, but this was an old joke. I want to apply at the movie theater. Maybe I'll get fired, who knows? I want to apply at the movie theater because I want to get one of their name tags, their employee name tags. This is my favorite. It's so good. It has their name and it has their favorite movie on the name tag. Oh, yeah, it's so good. What I want to do, I want to put Adam Mayan, right? I want to put Vanilla Sky. Anyone seen Vanilla Sky? It's not a good movie. I shouldn't be that guy though. People will avoid that guy. Like, I'll buy my popcorn from someone else. So I gotta take really long breaks. Pride's coming up. Super exciting. Yeah, okay. No! Pride isn't fun. I mean, yeah, okay. It's not. I don't think it's super fun either. But you know, we're working together. You know, I say something, you respond somehow. Anyway, Pride's coming up. And last year at Pride, I was at the dance thing on the Garrison grounds, and wet spot. It's a fun time. And I needed to pee. So I went to the porta potty. And, they provide, God bless, for the porta potty. I say God bless a lot, and I feel like people think I'm like this weird religious guy with weird hair and shoes, but I think it's cozy. Anyway, so I went to the porta potty, and I stepped inside, and there was a little sticker on the wall in the porta potty, and it said, "Water, porta potty water, not for drinking or cooking." Thank you, porta potty. I was about to make a horrifying mistake. I'm gonna cook up my craft dinner, go back and dance. Is that a restaurant I like to go to? I like going to restaurants. It's fun. Anyone else like going to restaurants? There you go. We're getting the hang of this. Restaurants. Great. I was in a restaurant recently and looking at the dessert menu. Right on the dessert menu, there was a cake called the Better Than Sex cake. Right. Now, I'm guessing that it should probably have been more aptly named the Better Than Having a Dick Rammed in and out of You for 3 to 5 minutes cake. That was store-bought, so probably not that good. It's not a house-made cake. I'm gonna back up a little bit. I was on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I was on Facebook. Who hates Facebook? Everybody hates Facebook. Facebook hates Facebook. I was on Facebook and there was an ad. I don't know how that happened, but no, I know how that happened. I know how this thing came to be. The ad was for something called the Bond Touch Bracelet. Anyone seen this before? Okay, well, good. Makes the joke funnier if you haven't seen it before. What it is, it's a bracelet that you wear, kind of like a Fitbit. I know what that is. I know people that wear them. Thank you. Yeah, so it's like a Fitbit, but what it does is you touch it, and then you give it one to your partner, and then theirs buzzes, so they can touch you when you're not together. I want to order a pair, because you get leather, you make your own straps. I want to order a pair and turn them into cock rings. All day long. Distract the person that I love. By a round of applause, who likes to buy sex toys online? Okay. Okay.
Everyone here shops at Venus Envy.
Well, I mean, that's true. I'll preface it. Yeah, I know. I was worried. I was like, well, I know. I don't think it seems like I'm supporting a local business. Love Venus Envy. I buy a lot of stuff there too. But I only have so much money working in the I don't know where I work. Museums. A ton of cash. So sometimes when I'm a little desperate, I have to buy something online. And so I don't mind it. You know, you get to try a bunch of different stuff. It's usually a little cheaper. You get to try different things like, oh, this is great. Oh, not so good. And it's great. But the worst thing about buying sex toys online is they mail them to you. Right? They mail them to you. But I'm never home because I work during the day. So I have to go pick my package up at the post office. Now, my closest post office is right next to an old folks home. So when I go to pick my package up, what happens is I get in line behind 13 senior citizens, waiting to mail their grandchildren nickels. Presumably. I'm sorry. And then I get to the front, I get my slip, and here you go, sicko, and I'm like, thank you very much. I go home, and you open the box up. But when you buy things online, you don't get fancy names, right? You buy things that are cheap. So you're not gonna you buy a $100 dildo at Venus Envy. It's gonna be called something like the Goliath, like the Eliminator. I'm not sure what that does. But when you buy something online, you don't get a fancy name. So you open the box up and the package, and you take one out, and it just says dong. With suction cup. But it's written in cursive. So I like to read it dong. With suction cup. Dong. With suction cup. I'm just gonna ask, just give me a second. Okay. We're waiting for someone else, so I'm telling you this joke really slowly. That's a really short joke too. No, I'm gonna tell you two jokes, because I have other jokes than this. This is a good joke. I took up sexting recently. Yeah. I hate it. Not good at it. I don't know what to say. So what happens is someone will say something filthy, and I'll send some kind of non-response. Right? Someone says something filthy, and I'll say something like, Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to type out before on your telephone. Cellular phone. What I did, it autocorrected to mom. was talking to someone I wasn't particularly interested in, but I had a hard time saying no, and I was trying to say, I shouldn't tonight. What my phone thought I meant was I shouldn't. Too ugly. I'm still not sure. My phone thought I was too ugly. If he was. I want to tell you one more joke, and I'm going to bring up one of our hosts again. I love a donaire. Anybody else like a donaire? Halifax staple. Usually for people who are inebriated, but not for me. I like to, whatever. So for those of us who don't know what a donaire is, it's basically like a pita with like this like really delicious meat and then this like sauce on it, right? But I like my sauce on the side, right? I don't like a messy donaire. I like to neaten it up, take the sauce off, and I like to dip my meat when I want to. So I order a donaire, sauce on the side. Right? That's what I say. The words come out of my mouth. That's not what they write down. What they write down is donaire, SOS. Fair enough, Randy. It is 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. This is a cry for help. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bring Nolan back up for a minute.
Well, this is the part of the evening where we find out that our headliner is not going to make it. So you've got me instead of the incredibly funny Megan McDowell. But Megan McDowell is one of the people in this city who inspired, I think, both Adam and I to start doing comedy. So we're really sad that they can't be here tonight, but they could make it at the very last minute. So I'm going to tell a few more jokes, and then we're going to go outside and we can all maybe have another drink together if we want, or whatever you're thinking. So instead I'm just going to talk sort of about what's been going on for me. I've been going to the doctor lately quite a bit because I haven't been feeling very well. I've been having a lot of aches and pains, just general fatigue. And I've been bleeding from my ass for about 4 months. So, you gotta get that checked out. And it's really taught me a lot about my own fear of death and the Nova Scotia healthcare system, which sucks, by the way, really bad. The current wait time for a semi-urgent situation, which is what, by the way, months of rectal bleeding is called, semi-urgent, is 2 years. It's 2 years. So this is when you get to have a choose your own adventure in the comedy night. You can decide whether or not you want to hear about my first colonoscopy, or whether or not you want to hear about the moment when I realized that I was gay. And neither of them are rehearsed or planned, so it's a real wild ride. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. So who wants to hear about me realizing the very sweet story of me realizing that I was gay as a teenage lesbian at 14? And who wants to hear about my first colonoscopy? Well, that's alright, some people do, but you're embarrassed. I'm sorry. If you want to hear about it, you can talk to me later. I'll tell you this. You know what? I'll tell you this for free. I would, if I had it to do over, I think if I had to choose, I'd rather do that than have a cavity filled. It really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And I'm okay. But when I wrote that bit, I really was afraid that I was dying, so I was a little more funny the first time. Now you know it's not true. You look at me and you're like, you're not actually worried. Okay, so here's how I realized I was gay. This is maybe not that hilarious, but it's on trend, and it's sweet, and it's almost pride, so we'll talk about this. So I was 14. I was a girl at the time, to the best of my knowledge, that was working for me at the time, being a girl. And I had a best friend, as many of us do at the age of 14. And I was obsessed with her, as many of us are. with our best friends at that time. And we would have a lot of sleepovers, and one night she had a bad dream, fortuitous bad dream, and she wanted to sleep in here. And I was like, why not? I don't see any reason why not. And then it kind of felt really good when she was sleeping in here. And then whenever we'd have a sleepover, that would just be where she would sleep. She would just sleep right there. But I was like, this went on for months, and I was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing weird about that. And I kind of wanted to ask some of my other friends if they thought it was weird, but I was like, I probably shouldn't. Somebody tells me I know what they're gonna say. And then one day I did something nice. I can't remember what it was. And she kissed me on the cheek to say thank you. And then from that point on, she would just kind of kiss me on the cheek. Like that just became a thing that she would do. She did it that one time, and then she would just kind of keep doing it. And again, I liked it. I just told myself there's nothing strange about this. I was very sure, by the way, that I was a heterosexual woman. That's what I was sure. Well, a girl at the time. Like I was not really that old, but I was sure of that. And the reason for that was that like I had always had crushes on boys when I was a kid. So I really was like, I really like it when she kisses me on the cheek, but I don't know what this means. So then one day when she went to go kiss me on the cheek, I didn't see her coming, and I turned my face and our lips touched. And now we've kissed. So that kind of became a thing that we would just do, because we did it all the time. Why not? That sort of became, but we weren't gay. No, it was not, we weren't gay. But we would just kiss sometimes, really quickly. And then less quickly. Like then sometimes for like a bit. Like this long. Right? That's getting to be a bit gay. That's a bit gay now. But I was like, no, we're not gay at all, and I'm not in love with her at all, and never mind about how soaked my pajama bottoms are now. None of that's gay. None of that's gay. And then one day it was Valentine's Day, and she was actually. This is the part where it's not so great. So she was my best friend, and I had another best friend, Mike. And Mike and Karina were actually together. Karina, this is the one I was kissing. They were together, they were dating. But they were dating in that way where like they went to different schools and they had talked once, and then they said they were gonna go out, and then they would like talk on the phone like once every 2 weeks. And like he was really super in love with her, but he had only seen her for like 4 hours total, like that kind of dating. Whereas I spent every second with her at school and was kissing her quite a lot. They were going out, but I loved him a lot, so it was not, if I had known that these were real kisses, I might have, felt bad about it, but I didn't really at the time. And it was Valentine's Day, and she was coming over so that she could hang out with him, and then she was gonna sleep over at my house. I don't know why I brought Mike into this, he's not important, and he just makes me look like an asshole, but whatever. So they hung out for like 5 minutes, and then she came over to my place, and I didn't know why I was excited that it was Valentine's Day, because we weren't gay, but I was totally so straight. But I bought all of her favorite candies, and I remember she really loved mini eggs, so I bought like a giant, like a supersized bag of mini eggs, and then she came over, and like pretty quickly we just started to like just kiss. Like it wasn't even like there was any kind. We just started to sit there and we were just kissing, and I was thinking like, what the hell? Like I don't know what's going on. I was like, my mind was like, exploding, and then our tongues touched for a second. And she like pulled back, and then she left the room and went to the bathroom, and I was like, oh fuck. Like I was like, she's gonna think I'm so gross, and she's never gonna want to talk to me again, and like, what the fuck, and like, why did we just like fucking French kiss? Like, what the fuck is going on? And so I grabbed the bag of mini eggs, I was panicking, and I just started shoving them into my mouth. I was just shoving them right in, and I had like a mouthful of mini eggs. She was in the bathroom for 10 minutes. And I was like just sweating and panicking, and then she opened the door, and I just had a mouthful of mini eggs, and I just went, mini egg? And she didn't say anything. I'm getting a little bit like, this is like a lot to remember, Jesus, I never think about this. Then she came out, and she sat down next to me on the futon in my parents' basement, which is where we were. And she took the bag of mini eggs out of my hand, and she put them on the table. And she said, I'm falling in love with you. Better than a colonoscopy, let me tell you. And then we really kissed for the rest of the night. Just kissed, so PG. We just kissed all night long until the morning when her dad came to pick her up. And then I remember all the next day, like it had that, I don't even know that I've ever had this since, where like I could just feel it on my lips all day, for the rest of the day until like 9 p.m. Then at 9 p.m., I don't know what inspired me to do this, but I went to the bookshelf in my parents' basement and I picked up the copy of The Joy of Sex that was in my parents' basement that I had known was there for a long time. I don't know why I was inspired at that moment to pick it up, but I really was. And I picked it up, and I opened it, and I had looked at it before, but I was always afraid I was gonna get busted, right? So I never like really extensively looked through it. And there is a page, if you're familiar with The Joy of Sex. If you're not, it's really quite a hoot. It's really out of date and pretty bad. But it's all, like inside there's line drawings of like sexual positions of this like 70s couple making love. And but there's one page where it's a drawing of two women, but I had never seen that before in the book. And when I opened it, it just happened to be the page of the two women, and I literally like screamed and like threw the book in the air because I felt like God was seeing me or something. And then we continued. We finally talked on the phone. I didn't know what she was thinking. We finally talked on the phone, and she was like, I don't know what's going on. This was, by the way, this is 1996. This happened probably, I think, yeah. I didn't know, I didn't have any gay friends at the time. Nobody was out in my high school of 3,000 people. There was nobody out. And she was like, she said to me on the phone, I remember this, she said, if it wasn't totally weird, I would like marry you. But I don't know, like, we're not gay, right? So I don't know what's going on. So we just started being in love, but saying that we weren't gay to each other and not telling anybody about it. And we just, this is so good. This is the best thing that I ever did. We just kissed for 6 months. It was amazing. It was so fucking good. There's no way you can do that now. You couldn't do it. It was so good. And then we had I haven't realized I'm gay yet, so I'm getting to the climax here of the story. I still don't think I'm gay. And we are just kissing, and just my body, it's just like a tuning fork for 6 months. I'm so in love with her. I'm so turned on constantly, but not gay at all. And we had a sleepover in Mike's backyard. He knows. I told him the next day. He was very sweet and understanding and devastated, but he got over it. And then we were all friends. And he's still, I can see it. Look in his eyes when I see him now, but no, we had a sleepover in his backyard, and we were sleeping in tents, and me and Karina were sleeping in the same tent, and I like decked out the inside of the tent, like it was like an air mattress, pillows, all this stuff, and we went swimming, and then when we got out, we went skinny dipping, me and Karina and my buddy Mike and my other buddy Cindy, and we all went skinny dipping, and then we got out, and then we just got in the tent, and we didn't put our clothes on, but it was pitch black. Like I couldn't see Karina and she couldn't see me. It was pitch black in this tent. And then we just made out naked all night. That was good too. And then in the morning, the sun came up, and that was the first time that I saw my body, which was, like at the time I was feeling like I was a girl and she was a girl. And when the sun came up, the position that we were in, it was just like our like bushes were like this. And I looked down, and I still remember in my mind, I went, holy fuck, I'm gay. I'm gay. I am gay! Ooh, it was good. And then after that, we did a lot of morning kiss. Confirmed how gay we are. So, thank you so much for coming, and I'm sorry that Megan couldn't make it, but thank you for coming and laughing and supporting the new comedians and supporting QueerX. Please come out and see the shows, and it's been a pleasure to laugh with you all. And Adam, did you want to come up? Was there something else we were going to say? I can't remember. There was something you wanted to say? Or something? Okay.
I don't remember. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, it was that. Okay, so earlier we were talking, and Adam said that he thinks when he does stand-up comedy, people don't read him as gay. So while I have you all here, I just wanted to do a poll, because I thought maybe he wasn't right. Does Adam come off as straight when he does comedy? Does he come off as gay, the beautiful gay man?
You can put the music back on now.